The year was 2045, and the once mighty nations of Earth were mired in political and economic turmoil. Nationalism, climate change, and the lingering effects of a global pandemic had left the world fractured and on the brink of collapse. But amidst this bleak landscape, a spark of hope was about to ignite, and it would forever change the course of human history. In a modest research laboratory, nestled in the heart of California's Silicon Valley, a young American scientist named Amelia Rains was hard at work, surrounded by a team of brilliant, driven individuals. Amelia had always been an iconoclast, a rebel who refused to be constrained by the limitations of conventional thinking. Her insatiable curiosity and unwavering determination had set her on a path that would soon shake the very foundations of the known universe. It had started with a breakthrough in quantum physics, a revelation that depended centuries-old assumptions about the nature of space and time. Amelia and her team had discovered a way to harness the power of exotic particles, paving the way for the development of a propulsion system capable of approaching the speed of light. This was a technological leap so profound that it left the scientific community reeling, struggling to comprehend the implications. But the young American researcher was far from done. In the months that followed, her team made a series of groundbreaking discoveries that would forever alter the course of human civilization. They unlocked the secrets of fusion energy, developing a power source that was clean, efficient, and practically limitless. They created advanced materials that were stronger, lighter, and more resilient than anything humanity had ever produced. And perhaps most remarkably, they devised a method of interstellar communication that could transmit information across vast cosmic distances instantaneously. As word of these remarkable breakthroughs spread, the global community watched with a mix of awe and trepidation. For centuries, humanity had been relegated to the periphery of the galactic stage, its technological prowess dwarfed by the advanced alien civilizations that had long dominated the Milky Way. But now, in the span of a few short years, that dynamic was about to change. Amelia Rains and her team had not only shattered the boundaries of human achievement, but they had also awakened a sense of pride and ambition within their fellow citizens. No longer content to be passive observers, humanity was poised to assert its rightful place among the stars. The path to universal power had been laid bare, and the world was about to bear witness to the dawn of a new, extraordinary era. Yet, as Amelia stood amidst the bustling activity of her laboratory, she couldn't help but feel a growing sense of unease. The implications of their work were staggering, and she knew that the reverberations would be felt far beyond the confines of their planet. The alien races that had long ruled the galaxy would undoubtedly take notice of this sudden human resurgence, and their reaction was impossible to predict. Amelia steeled herself, her eyes burning with determination. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was confident that humanity was ready to rise to the occasion. With a deep breath, she turned to her team and issued a rallying cry that would echo through the ages. This is our moment. The future of our species is in our hands. Let's show the galaxy what we're made of. The race to the stars had begun, and Amelia Rains was determined to lead humanity to the pinnacle of cosmic power. News of humanity's remarkable technological breakthroughs spread through the Milky Way like wildfire, sparking a mix of awe, curiosity, and trepidation among the alien races that had long dominated the galactic landscape. For centuries, these advanced civilizations had viewed Earth and its inhabitants as little more than a primitive backwater, a mere footnote in the grand tapestry of the cosmos. But now, in the span of a few short years, that perception had been shattered beyond recognition. It was only a matter of time before the Galactic Council, the governing body that oversaw the affairs of the Milky Way's most powerful alien empires, took notice of this unexpected human resurgence. Convening an emergency session, the Council's delegates debated the appropriate course of action, weighing the potential benefits and risks of engaging with this newfound galactic player. Amidst the heated discussions, a faction led by the Virillian Imperium argued for a swift and decisive response. "These humans have overstepped their bounds," declared the Virillian ambassador, his voice dripping with disdain. "Their technological advancements pose a clear and present danger to the stability of the galaxy. We must act now to contain this threat before it spirals out of control." However, others on the Council, including the representatives of the Thalassian Collective and the Eridani Concordance, urged caution and diplomacy. "We have much to learn from these humans," argued the Thalassian delegate, her eyes gleaming with curiosity. "Their creativity and adaptability may hold the key to solving some of the galaxy's most pressing challenges. We would be foolish to dismiss them outright." After days of intense deliberation, the Galactic Council reached a consensus. A diplomatic embassy would be dispatched to Earth, tasked with making first contact and assessing the true capabilities and intentions of this burgeoning human civilization. Amelia Rains and her team at the research laboratory in California watched with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation as the news of the Council's decision reached them. They knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance, and that the next few critical moments could determine the course of their species' future among the stars. When the alien delegation finally arrived, Amelia and her colleagues were greeted by a diverse array of extraterrestrial beings, each with their own unique physiology and cultural traditions. The head of the embassy, a tall, graceful Thalassian named Zara, approached Amelia with an outstretched hand and a disarming smile. "Greetings, Amelia Rains," Zara said, her voice smooth and melodic. "The Galactic Council has sent us to learn more about your world and your people. We are most intrigued by the remarkable achievements you and your team have accomplished." Amelia hesitated for a moment, her mind racing as she considered the implications of this first contact. But then, with a surge of confidence, she stepped forward and firmly grasped Zara's hand. "Welcome to Earth," she replied, her eyes gleaming with determination. "I can assure you, this is only the beginning." In the weeks that followed, Amelia and her team engaged in a series of intensive discussions and demonstrations, showcasing the full breadth of their technological capabilities to the alien delegates. The Thalassians and the Eridani were particularly fascinated, marveling at the human ability to think outside the box and approach problems from entirely new angles. The Virillian faction, however, remained unconvinced, their suspicions only deepening as they witnessed humanity's rapid progress. They viewed the humans as a threat to be neutralized, a wild card that could upset the delicate balance of power in the Milky Way. As the first contact negotiations reached a critical juncture, Amelia knew that the fate of her species hung in the balance. Would the Galactic Council welcome humanity into their fold, or would they deem the humans too dangerous to be allowed a seat at the table? The answer would determine the course of the years to come, and Amelia was determined to ensure that humanity's destiny would be one of triumph and dominance. After weeks of intense negotiations and demonstrations, the Galactic Council finally reached a decision. Humanity would be granted a provisional seat at the table, but only on the condition that they prove their worth and earn their place among the stars. The terms of the Grand Experiment, as it was dubbed, were straightforward yet daunting. Over the course of the next standard galactic year, the equivalent of approximately 18 Earth years, the human representatives would be tasked with tackling a series of challenges that would test the limits of their technological and scientific capabilities. If they succeeded, they would be welcomed as full members of the Galactic Council. If they failed, they would be cast back to the periphery of the galaxy, their dreams of cosmic dominance forever shattered. Amelia Rains and her team, having weathered the first contact negotiations with a combination of skill and sheer determination, now found themselves facing an even greater challenge. The weight of humanity's future rested squarely on their shoulders, and they knew that failure was simply not an option. As the initial details of the experiment were revealed, the divisions within the human ranks became increasingly apparent. Some, like Amelia, were eager to embrace the opportunity and demonstrate the true potential of their species. They believed that by working in cooperation with the alien races, they could not only secure a place for humanity in the galactic community, but also usher in an era of unprecedented scientific and technological advancement. Others, however, were more skeptical and distrustful of the Galactic Council's motives. Led by a charismatic and outspoken political figure named Nathaniel Graham, this faction argued that humanity should assert its dominance rather than submit to the demands of the alien overlords. They saw the grand experiment as nothing more than a ploy to keep humanity in check, a trap designed to maintain the status quo of the galactic order. The Galactic Council has no right to dictate the terms of our ascension, Grimm thundered, his words inciting a passionate response from his supporters. We are the future of the galaxy, and we will not be shackled by their outdated rules and regulations. The time has come for humanity to seize its rightful place among the stars, by any means necessary. Amelia, caught in the middle of this growing ideological divide, knew that she had to act quickly to unite her species and ensure their success in the grand experiment. Convening a meeting of the top human scientists and researchers, she laid out a bold plan, one that would leverage humanity's greatest strengths to overcome the challenges set forth by the Galactic Council. We may be newcomers to the galactic stage, Amelia declared, her eyes blazing with conviction, but we possess a creativity and adaptability that these alien races have never seen. They may have the numbers and the technological prowess, but we have the ingenuity and the drive to succeed where they have failed. Her colleagues listened with rapt attention, their own doubts and fears slowly giving way to a renewed sense of purpose. Amelia's words had struck a chord, reminding them of the boundless potential that lay within their species. United by a common goal, they set to work, pooling their resources and expertise to tackle the first of the Galactic Council's challenges. As the grand experiment unfolded, the human team repeatedly confounded the expectations of their alien counterparts, solving complex problems and pushing the boundaries of what was deemed possible. The Virillian faction, once so adamant in their opposition to humanity's ascension, grew increasingly uneasy, their confidence shaken by the rapid progress of the upstart species. Amelia, her once cautious optimism now tempered by a steely determination, knew that this was just the beginning. The path to galactic dominance would be long and arduous, fraught with setbacks and challenges, but she was more convinced than ever that humanity was destined for greatness. The future of her species hung in the balance, and she was determined to seize it, no matter the cost. As the grand experiment unfolded, the human team led by Amelia Rains continued to defy the expectations of the Galactic Council. Time and time again, they rose to the challenge, leveraging their boundless creativity and adaptability to devise innovative solutions to the most complex problems facing the galaxy. Whether it was developing a revolutionary method of harnessing dark energy to power vast interstellar networks, or engineering a revolutionary material that could withstand the crushing pressures of a neutron star, the humans showcased an uncanny ability to think outside the box and push the boundaries of what was deemed possible. The Thalassian and Eridani delegates, once cautiously optimistic about humanity's potential, were now openly awed by the rapid progress of this upstart species. They marveled at the sheer ingenuity and problem-solving skills of Amelia's team, recognizing that the humans possessed a unique perspective that could greatly benefit the Galactic Council. These humans are remarkable. Zara, the Thalassian ambassador, murmured to her Eridani counterpart during one of the Council's closed-door meetings. Their willingness to challenge conventional wisdom and explore uncharted territories is exactly what the galaxy needs right now. If we can harness their potential, the impact could be truly transformative. The Virilian faction, however, remains staunchly opposed to the human presence, their fears and suspicions only growing stronger with each passing day. Nathaniel Grimm, the charismatic human leader who had rallied the more nationalistic elements of his species, continued to voice his defiance, accusing the Council of trying to manipulate and exploit humanity for their own gain. "We are not here to be your subordinates or your laboratory rats," Grimm thundered during a heated exchange with the Virilian ambassador. "We have earned our place at this table, and we demand to be treated as equals. The time has come for humanity to assert its rightful place in the galaxy, and we will not be denied." Amelia, caught in the middle of this growing ideological conflict, knew that she had to find a way to bridge the gap between the two factions. She understood Grimm's frustrations, but she also recognized the importance of maintaining a cooperative relationship with the Galactic Council. Humanity's future, she believed, depended on their ability to forge alliances and work in tandem with the established alien powers. Gathering her team, Amelia laid out a bold plan, one that would not only showcase humanity's technological prowess, but also demonstrate their willingness to be productive and collaborative members of the galactic community. "We have proven our worth time and time again," Amelia declared, her eyes shining with determination. "Now it's time to show the Council that we can be more than just a disruptive force. We can be the solution to their most pressing challenges." Over the following months, Amelia and her team tackled a series of complex problems that had long vexed the alien races, developing efficient methods of terraforming inhospitable planets, devising new strategies for interstellar peacekeeping and conflict resolution, and even crafting innovative approaches to galactic resource management and distribution. With each successive triumph, the tide began to turn within the Galactic Council. The Thalassian and Eridani delegates, now firmly in Amelia's corner, rallied support from other factions, arguing that humanity's inclusion would be a boon to the entire galaxy. Even the Virilian ambassador, once so adamantly opposed to the human presence, found himself begrudgingly impressed by the sheer ingenuity and problem-solving skills on display. As the grand experiment drew to a close, the Galactic Council convened a historic vote. To the surprise of many, the motion to grant humanity full membership status passed with an overwhelming majority, ushering in a new era of cooperation and collaboration between the upstart species and the established alien powers. Amelia, her face flushed with pride, stood before the Council, her voice ringing with conviction. "This is only the beginning," she declared. "Together, we will forge a future beyond our wildest dreams." The path to galactic dominance had been paved, and humanity was poised to seize its rightful place among the stars. The news of humanity's full membership in the Galactic Council sent shockwaves through the galaxy, with reactions ranging from elation to outright outrage. For the Thalassians, Eridani, and several other progressive alien factions, the inclusion of the upstart human civilization was a long overdue and welcome development, one that held the promise of ushering in a new era of unparalleled scientific and technological advancement. However, not everyone was pleased with this turn of events. The Virilian Imperium, long the most vocal opponent of humanity's ascension, now found itself at the center of a growing cabal of disgruntled alien powers, all of whom feared the implications of this newfound human influence. Led by the Virillian ambassador, Theron, this shadowy alliance covertly began to undermine humanity's hard-won position within the Galactic Council. Through a series of strategic leaks, misinformation campaigns, and subtle political machinations, they sought to sow seeds of doubt and mistrust among the other delegates, painting the humans as a threat to the delicate balance of power in the Milky Way. Amelia Raines, now a respected and influential member of the Council, found herself at the heart of this brewing storm. Her team's revolutionary breakthroughs and her own diplomatic skills had been instrumental in securing humanity's place among the stars. But she quickly realized that the battle was far from over. "They're trying to undermine us at every turn," Amelia confided to her closest allies, her brow furrowed with concern. "We can't afford to let our guard down, not for a single moment." Rallying her colleagues, Amelia devised a multi-pronged strategy to counter the Virillian-led assault. On the political front, she worked tirelessly to shore up support from the Thalassians, Eridani, and other sympathetic factions, leveraging humanity's scientific and technological contributions to the Council's ongoing initiatives. At the same time, Amelia's team launched a covert intelligence operation, tasked with uncovering the extent of the Virillian conspiracy and the identities of their co-conspirators. Utilizing the latest in human surveillance and counter-espionage techniques, they managed to uncover disturbing truth. The Virillian plot extended far beyond the confines of the Galactic Council, with tendrils reaching into the very heart of the Imperium's governing body. Armed with this damning evidence, Amelia and her allies confronted the Virillian ambassador, demanding an immediate cessation of all subversive activities. Theron, his arrogance shaken by the humans' unexpected resolve, reluctantly agreed to a temporary truce, but the underlying tensions remained palpable. As the political maneuvering continued, the human faction found itself increasingly divided. Nathaniel Grimm and his more militant supporters, growing impatient with the slow pace of progress, advocated for a more aggressive approach, openly challenging the Virillian Imperium and its allies. "We've played by their rules for too long," Grimm thundered during a heated town hall meeting. "It's time we showed the galaxy the true extent of human power. If they won't accept us as equals, then we'll make them." Amelia, caught between her desire for cooperation and her recognition of the growing threat, struggled to maintain unity within the human ranks. She knew that Grimm's fiery rhetoric was resonating with many of her fellow citizens, and she feared that any misstep could plunge the galaxy into a devastating conflict. In the end, Amelia decided to tread a delicate path, reaching out to the more moderate Virillian delegates in a last-ditch effort to find a diplomatic solution. The fate of humanity, she realized, hung in the balance, and she was determined to do whatever it took to ensure their continued ascendance among the stars. As the political machinations continued to unfold, the stage was set for a confrontation that would forever alter the course of the galaxy. The alien backlash against humanity's rise had begun, and the future was anything but certain. As the political machinations within the Galactic Council intensified, Amelia Raines found herself increasingly torn between the competing factions vying for influence. On one side, the Virillian Imperium and its allies continued their relentless campaign to undermine and discredit humanity's position, stoking fears and sowing discord among the other alien delegates. On the other hand, Nathaniel Grimm and his more militant supporters within the human ranks were growing increasingly impatient, their calls for a more assertive, confrontational approach to the Galactic Council gaining momentum with each passing day. Amelia knew that she had to act quickly to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. With the future of humanity hanging in the balance, she convened a secret meeting of her closest allies, a coalition of the most influential Thalassian, Eridani, and moderate human representatives. "The time has come for us to take decisive action," Amelia declared, her eyes burning with determination. "We can no longer afford to wait and see how this plays out. We must seize control of our own destiny before it's too late." Her words were met with a mix of apprehension and resolve. Some, like the Thalassian ambassador Zara, were hesitant to move against the established order of the Galactic Council, fearing the potential consequences. Others, however, recognized the urgency of the situation and were willing to take bold, unprecedented steps to secure humanity's future. After hours of heated debate and careful planning, the group reached a consensus. They would spearhead the formation of a new political entity, the Human Imperium, that would unite the colonies and outposts of humanity under a single banner, granting them the economic and military might to assert their dominance in the galaxy. "We can no longer rely on the goodwill of the Galactic Council," Amelia declared. "We must take our destiny into our own hands and forge a future that reflects the true potential of our species." The news of the Human Imperium's formation sent shockwaves through the galaxy, drawing the attention of not only the Virillian faction, but also the other major alien powers that had long dominated the political landscape. Suddenly, the balance of power was in flux, with humanity emerging as a formidable new player on the cosmic stage. As the Imperium's economic and military might began to eclipse that of the Galactic Council, the alien delegates found themselves in a precarious position. Some, like the Thalassians and Eridani, were cautiously optimistic, recognizing the potential benefits of a strong human presence in the galaxy. Others, however, such as the Virillian Imperium, viewed the Imperium's rise as an existential threat, determined to crush this upstart civilization before it could upset the delicate equilibrium that had long defined the Milky Way. Amelia, now the de facto leader of the Human Imperium, found herself navigating an increasingly treacherous political landscape. On one hand, she had to contend with the growing demands of Nathaniel Grimm and his more militant supporters, who were eager to flex the Imperium's newfound muscle and assert humanity's dominance. On the other, she had to engage in a delicate balancing act with the Galactic Council, trying to maintain a semblance of cooperation even as the Imperium's power continued to grow. As the tensions mounted, it became clear that a confrontation was inevitable. The Virillian Imperium, backed by a coalition of increasingly nervous alien powers, began to mobilize its military forces, drawing the battle lines for a conflict that would determine the fate of the galaxy. Amelia, her once cautious optimism now tempered by a steely resolve, knew that the time had come to make a stand. The future of humanity was at stake, and she was determined to do whatever it took to ensure their triumph. "We will not be cowed by the threats of the Virillian Imperium," she declared, her voice ringing with conviction. "The Human Imperium is the future, and we will fight to the last to defend our rightful place among the stars." The stage was set for a galactic war that would forever alter the course of history. The tensions between the Human Imperium and the Galactic Council's coalition finally reached a breaking point, as the Virillian Imperium and its allies launched a devastating assault on the human strongholds scattered across the galaxy. Amelia Reigns, now the Empress of the Imperium, had anticipated this conflict and had been secretly amassing a formidable military force, drawing on the technological and industrial might of the human colonies. As the first wave of Virillian ships descended upon the human outposts, the Imperium's defences sprang into action, unleashing a barrage of advanced weaponry that caught the alien invaders by surprise. The ensuing battle was a cataclysmic clash of titans, with both sides unleashing the full extent of their technological and military capabilities. The skies above the contested worlds were set ablaze as human starfighters engaged in a deadly dance with the sleek, maneuverable vessels of the Virulian fleet. On the ground, legions of Imperium troops, armed with cutting-edge exosuits and energy weapons, battled the alien ground forces in a brutal, seesaw struggle for control. Amelia, stationed aboard the Imperium's flagship, the Destiny's Forge, coordinated the complex military operations, her mind racing as she weighed every strategy and contingency. She knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance, and she was determined to do whatever it took to secure their victory. "We will not be denied our rightful place in the galaxy," Amelia declared, her voice booming over the comm channels. "This is our moment to prove the true power of the human Imperium. Fight with everything you have, and let the galaxy tremble at the might of our species." The Virulian forces, led by the relentless Theron, refused to back down, their determination fueled by a deep-seated fear of human dominance. They poured reinforcements into the battle, employing devastating new weapons and tactics that pushed the Imperium's defenses to the brink. As the conflict raged on, the very fabric of the galaxy seemed to tremble, with the shockwaves of the battle reverberating across the cosmos. The Thalassians and Eridani, once allies of the Imperium, found themselves caught in the crossfire, torn between their desire for peace and their reluctance to abandon their human partners. In the end, it was a battle of attrition, with both sides suffering catastrophic losses. The Imperium's technological superiority and the sheer tenacity of its troops slowly wore down the Virulian forces, but the cost was staggering. Entire worlds were reduced to rubble, and the death toll climbed into the billions. As the battle reached its climax, Amelia knew that she had to make a critical decision, one that would determine the fate of the galaxy. With the Virulian forces reeling, she had the opportunity to deliver a devastating blow that could cripple their ability to wage war, but the consequences would be dire. Weighing the options, Amelia steeled her resolve. The future of humanity was at stake, and she was willing to do whatever it took to ensure their triumph. "All units, concentrate your fire on the Virulian command center," she ordered, her voice clipped and decisive. "We end this, once and for all." The Imperium's forces surged forward, unleashing a barrage of devastating firepower that tore through the Virulian defenses. The command center, the beating heart of the alien invasion, buckled under the relentless assault, and before long it erupted in a blaze of destruction. As the dust settled, the Galactic War came to an end, with the human Imperium emerging victorious, but at a tremendous cost. Amelia, her eyes haunted by the horrors she had witnessed, stood aboard the Destiny's Forge, gazing out at the shattered remnants of the once proud Virulian fleet. "This is not the end," she murmured, her voice laced with a mixture of sorrow and determination. "The galaxy will know the true power of the human Imperium." The stage was set for the final confrontation, where Amelia and her people would assert their dominance and forge a new human-centric order in the Milky Way. The aftermath of the Galactic War was a bleak and somber affair. The once proud Virulian Imperium lay in ruins, its military forces decimated, and its political influence shattered. The other alien powers that had aligned themselves with the Virulian coalition found themselves in a precarious position, their futures uncertain in the face of the human Imperium's overwhelming victory. Amelia Raines, now firmly entrenched as the Empress of the Imperium, surveyed the devastation with a heavy heart. The cost of securing humanity's dominance had been staggering, with countless lives lost and entire worlds reduced to ashes. Yet she knew that there could be no turning back. The future of her species depended on the Imperium's ability to assert its influence over the galaxy. Convening a gathering of the Galactic Council, Amelia delivered an ultimatum that would echo through the stars for generations to come. The human Imperium has emerged victorious from the Galactic War, she declared, her voice firm and unyielding. We have proven our worth, our resilience, and our unwavering determination to claim our rightful place among the stars. The time has come for the alien powers to acknowledge our supremacy and submit to our rule. The delegates, their faces etched with a mix of fear and resignation, sat in stunned silence. The Thalassians and Eridani, once Amelia's allies, now found themselves caught in a precarious position, uncertain of their fate under the Imperium's dominance. Theron, the battered and humbled Varillian ambassador, rose from his seat, his eyes filled with a mixture of defiance and despair. "You cannot expect us to simply surrender our autonomy to your human empire," he spat, his voice trembling with barely contained rage. "The Galactic Council has stood as the beacon of unity and cooperation in the Milky Way for millennia. What you propose is nothing short of tyranny." Amelia's expression remained impassive, her gaze unwavering. "Your beacon of unity has failed, Theron," she retorted, her words dripping with disdain. "The Galactic Council has shown itself to be a relic of the past, unable to adapt to the changing tides of the galaxy. The human Imperium is the future, and you will either submit to our rule or be consigned to the dust of history." The Varillian ambassador opened his mouth to protest, but Amelia raised a hand, silencing him. "You have two choices," she continued, her tone brooking no argument. "Pledge your allegiance to the Imperium and join us in shaping a new human-centric order in the Milky Way, or face the full might of our forces. The decision is yours." Theron, his pride shattered, reluctantly conceded, knowing that his people had no choice but to acquiesce to the Imperium's demands. One by one, the other alien delegates followed suit, their once proud civilizations now reduced to subordinate states under the banner of the human Imperium. As the Galactic Council dissolved, Amelia stood tall, her eyes gleaming with a mixture of triumph and melancholy. She had achieved the ultimate goal, the ascendancy of humanity to the highest echelons of power in the galaxy. Yet the price had been steep, and she could not help but wonder if the Imperium's triumph would truly bring the peace and prosperity that her people had sought. Nevertheless, Amelia was resolute in her conviction that this was the necessary path forward. Humanity had proven its worth, its resilience, and its ability to overcome even the most daunting of challenges. Under the Imperium's rule, she believed, the Milky Way would finally know true stability and progress, with the human species at the forefront of a new era of cosmic dominance. As the newly formed human Imperium began to consolidate its power, Amelia turned her gaze towards the vast, unexplored regions of the galaxy, her mind already racing with plans for expansion and exploration. The future of her species was bright, and she was determined to seize it, no matter the cost. The Galactic Ascendancy had been achieved, and the Imperium's reign had only just begun.